Hey buddies, it's Will of DAGames, and I figured I'd make this video since a lot of you have been asking about the lack of profile picture and the banner, and, there's been a lot of context that's been taken out. A lot of people are getting worried about what the channel's going through at the moment, and just personally, a lot of people want to know exactly what's been going on in my life, and I've got to a point in my life where I feel as though I need to explain this now. There's a lot that's been going on in the back end. I mean, if you guys have followed my Twitter, then you definitely know what's going on. But for those who haven't followed my Twitter, which, fair enough, I totally understand, not every one of you can follow this, but basically, I've been going through a 6 to 7 month patch of horrific shit, and it's affected a lot of my friends, and it's also affected very personally close to me and some of the people in my life. And I feel as though it's the right time to say something, get out everything, let all loose ends be disappeared, and just be able to move on with our lives, and hopefully everybody will understand what's coming from this. I'll also go in a bit more in-depth explanation as to what's happening in the future of our projects, our upcoming stuff, the questions that you've all been asking about the Cuphead song, and at least some of the teasers that were put in the DAGames medley. We want to kind of expand on that a bit more as well. So this might be a lengthy video, but we haven't done one in a while, so I guess hopefully you watch to the very end. I want everybody to understand all of the context that we have in this. Here we go. I figured I'd read this out through the whole text thing, so if my eyes don't look like they're pointing at the lens properly, it's not because I'm out of focus. This has all been pre-written, it's all gone on Twitter, and for those who haven't seen it, I'd rather tell you guys so you don't have the hassle of having to read it all yourself. It's a lengthy one, so please bear with us. Hey folks, quick statement about what you've been seeing on my YouTube channel as of lately. Lack of profile picture and banner. Lots of people got concerned, and I somewhat am glad there was that kind of feeling, simply because of the following happening. A dark patch is happening in my life, and I need to step away from social media, and I thought the pinned message would have done some justice. By the way, I did make a pinned message about, the stuff that I'm going through and that I'm leaving social media. A lot of people didn't see that, so figured I'd bring it up. But while it's reached out to a lot, it's not reached out to most people, and such as still asking questions without researching, which is fine. If you can't, then you can't, but if you feel like subject will need constant confirmation, I'm happy to deliver it. Since this dark patch has given me a lot to think about, resonating from the past 6 or 7 months, a lot of you know that me and Chloe are broken up, and to rectify some mistakes I made along the way, I thought it'd be wise for me to at least come forward and tell the truth about it all. This is the part that was difficult. I was unfaithful at one point in our lives. This was in the 6 to 7 month period. I won't go into too much detail, but I got to a point where, and this is no excuse, just please don't follow by example, alcohol took me over one night, and I ended up doing some stupid shit. Well, not physically, but cyber. The moment this happened and I realized it, I didn't hesitate in bringing it forward to Chloe, and while scared of the reaction, of course it was to be expected. I hurt her feelings and damaged us both, and ever since that day I've been hanging this over my grave. Both sides have been. However, our relationship deteriorated even before this happened. Lots of fights were happening, loss of connection approached, and anytime I'd come forward about it, it was like supposed to, I'd be greeted with a negative connotation. It escalated and began to crumble as both. That's when I found happiness for, once in a long time, and I was desperate to keep a hold of the contact. Throughout this time, I tried to end things on a civil note. However, lots of my friends were pushing judgment and bias. Basically, just to explain that, a lot of my friends were seeking a goal, an objective, and it wasn't really something that fit to what any of us wanted. A lot of guilt tripping, unintentionally. A lot of pushing for their own personal game as opposed to thinking about my own, already elaborated. Peer pressure caved in, and I figured I'd give it a shot, and the same happened with the other side. Unfortunately, as you would expect, things didn't look like they were improving. Fast forward to December, and it came to a point where both of us kind of realized that, we knew what was happening and decided to end it. My future is with somebody else, but out of respect, we're gonna hold off for a number of months since, a lot of people got the idea of me moving on instantly, which even I think is insensitive. That's awful. I know where my goal is, and so does Chloe. And despite how hard this is for both of us, it's kind of the right thing to do at this point, especially since after the breakup, we've done something very rare that not a lot of people get as an opportunity, which is to keep Chloe as a best friend in my life. Still a running member of DAGames, and continuing to have a laugh. If that hasn't proven that I can get past my mistakes, then I fear that a lot of people are just judging for the sake of judgment, and for that, I do hold a lot of shame over that. Circumstances happen, context is a bitch, and when given a bias, you're gonna roll with it because it's primitive nature. But every single mistake I've ever made has been rectified and learned from. Yet, I still get given grief. Grief that I really, really don't need. Because I've cried my tears, I've learned my shit, and I've now rectified what the closed door scenario involved. So at this point, I would deeply appreciate it if we could all just move on from this. No losses of connections, no friendships toiled, no loose ends. I just want everyone to know where we stand and where they stand and where we do as well. All in all, please also send love to Chloe when she needs it, please. You know, if you could do that for me, then that would be amazing. So the banner and the profile picture slowly faded, not as a reminder for all of you. This is no way in shape for you. This isn't for your sake. This is to remind me that without a brand or a name on the channel, this is who I am. Just me. I'm human as well and capable of amending from errors. Eventually, they'll come back, but to further solidify my efforts in trying to move on, I am in the process of making 2 songs. The first one was the cryptic video you saw, Rebuilding Our Castle. While that's not the official title of the song, it's a metaphor to remind you that I'm mending, I'm fixing what we had, and this in no way affects the future of the channel, except for, you know, of course, being stronger and much better from in the better mind space. DAGames as a whole kind of needs to mend, and I hope throughout all of this, you can respect that. My only problem with these songs and their distribution is the money earned from it. You know, a lot of people like to see these apologies and judge it when they see the amendment as ran by profit, and that's something I really don't want to put forward. That's kind of something I'm usually against. As you've heard, As the Lights Go Out, that was never put on distribution stores, and the only way I'd be able to do that is if I put it cheaper. But I, as a human, am also trying to live and survive. So, I mean, I do need to have something to hold on to that I can use to better myself, but I don't think many will see it that way because, again, primitive nature gets the best of people. They'll still appear on YouTube, but as far as distribution, I'd only be happy to sell them as a bundle in the album, since each single comes out as cheaper when put into the album. If you guys don't know what the album is, Heart of an Artist is basically the album. It's, you know, original songs. Well, they're all original. Every song that I do is original, but it has no premise other than just being its own subject matter rather than based on a video game. Consisting of 11 songs, you know, if you've seen Heart of an Artist, Draw the Line, As the Lights Go Out, Kings and Queens, then there's these 2 songs. That's 6 songs already. We just need to write 5 more and then the album can go out. So it could be a while, but again, in order to write this album, I needed to be in pain. It comes from love and pain, does this album, so I kind of need to be there to be able to speak about anything in it. And so a lot of these songs kind of have too much of a precious subject matter to be sold, so I don't know about distribution on that factor. If you guys don't mind, and you know, if you already got a Spotify subscription, then sure, whatever, I don't know. But that's for future. But as for when I'll return, when those songs are released. When are they going to be released? I have zero idea. But I'm hoping not for long. Since one of the songs is complete, the titles, I might as well explain. You know, I've got Castle That Never Dies. So it's that little melody that you heard in the Black Context video. It's called Castle That Never Dies. And a new one that I'm working on called You're Just Making Us Stronger. Castle That Never Dies kind of revolves around the idea that all of my foundations have been broken. I've been crumbled. I've crumbled others during the process. It's been a huge war. But like every knockdown, you get brought back up again much stronger, and that's the castle that never dies. You're Just Making Us Stronger comes from the idea that people who are still naysaying, people who are still ready to pounce on you at any particular moment, all you're really doing is making us stronger from it. You're only really making us feel more empowered to learn a lesson and move forward. You can defy me, engage, enrage, whatever, you're just making us stronger regardless. But that's all I can say. I can't give out any previews, no exclusives. This is for everyone to know and be patient enough to find out. Hope you understand, guys, and let's just get this shit out of the way so we can all just go back to the way things were. Much love, peace. That's the statement. That is my whole thing that I put on Twitter. That is practically everything. I had added a few additional things for context reasons because I don't think I explained absolutely everything in there. So yeah, at one point or another, I was kind of unfaithful, and I regret every single minute of that. You know, I've spent my 6 to 7 months trying to recuperate. We all have. We all have been trying to recuperate, and even out of this, you know, I still have masses of respect for Chloe, and she does for myself. You know, we're both still friends. We're both still building each other up. You know, we've got our futures, and, you know, whether that concerns job goals or love lives, you know, we've got our goals set, and we know what we want to do. For now, we're just trying to get over it and get ourselves as best acquainted as friends as possible. And for the most part, that's doing super amazing. I'm surprised how much patience she has in me, and she's saying back. But a lot of people are very nitpicky about it. A lot of people would say like, oh, why are you holding on to this stuff? You're just weak. You just don't want to move on. No, we just have a lot of respect. Like, it's not as bad as people made it out to be. Like, it's still a pretty touchy subject matter, and I'm no way exempt from the stuff that I did. And same back to Chloe, you know, we're not all innocent in this scenario. But I think that's what makes it special, is that we're not all innocent in this. We all had a bit to play in it, and we all kind of understood what broke. And we're all trying to fix this for ourselves. And that's what makes it so special, is that no matter what down the line, you're always going to see sometimes me and Chloe in the same room, same convention center. You know, there's going to be a lot of American conventions. She's still going to be a big part of, you know, the singing roles. You know and love her already. So we're not going to let that go away. And that's something that should rectify enough, I feel. If you can come out of this really strong and still maintain one of the most positive friendships you can, that is super, super rare. And for that, I have massive respect for her. I really do. And I hope you guys still have that same thing too. Now, don't go parading and raging and stuff. We've sorted out our back end. They say actions speak louder than words. The reason why we haven't said anything in a while is because we've been performing those actions first before the words could even come out. So as far as these words, they mean nothing other than just adding context and just everything that's happened in this life. We've already implemented our actions, and we're just rebuilding again. Because I don't want to lose any friendships from this, and Chloe doesn't want it either. We all just kind of want to move on as life continues, and I know we're all kind of worried for each other. I just want solid foundations to stay the way they are. I couldn't imagine losing a friend over something as stupid that I did, and I'm trying to rectify my standards. I'm trying to rebuild this shit, and it's difficult. You know, there's still people that are going to go away from us. You know what? You know, I've kind of come to a point where if you can't stick around us, then maybe you just weren't able to take all the positives that we had and just stick with the one negative, which is fine. Fine. You want to do that? Totally. You know, do your life. Because if that's what gets you through the day, if that's what keeps you peachy, sure. But I've tried everything I could to rectify this, and I'm still performing those actions today, and they're still doing wonders. Whatever happens after this, I just hope you can understand that I do feel for this situation. We all do. So let's just try and get past this as much as we can, for the good of the channel. With all of that shit out of the way, let's move on to some of the other pressing matters that you guys are focused on. If you guys decided to make it this far, or just if you skimmed through, then, well, if you guys end up questioning stuff in the comment section, then it's kind of your fault, really. But if you made it here all the way through, I super appreciate whatever opinion you have you want to put down in the comments below. But these are the pressing matters that people are coming for now. The Cuphead song and Bendy Chapter 3. And just generally when the Let's Plays return as well. And just many other projects that we have in the cycle. So as far as the Cuphead song, we've got one of the main segments finished. We're focusing on the final segment first because, believe it or not, because basically with Cuphead we're doing something unique. We're not using the bosses from the actual game. We're making bosses from the games that we've been playing on the community and how we've conquered them. As such, the little Cuphead figure will be redrawn as sort of a green one, and instead of like milk there's going to be Monster. Basically, I'm Cuphead. And the bosses you're going to see are like the puppet from FNAF, you're going to see Neighbor from Hello Neighbor, and Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine. And they all have such uniqueness behind them, and you know from seeing one of the vlogs already. If you haven't, I'm going to just relay some of the videos down here, some of the other context that we have. All this stuff is done frame by frame, and we're trying to cheat ways into making sure we get it out faster, because we do know it takes time to do this, but we also know you guys really want to see this. So we want to put in as much effort as possible so that if we have to cut corners, then we're trying to do this for you. Believe it or not, we are trying to cut corners just to get this done a lot faster, because I know a lot of you really, really want this. And I want it released. I know all of us want it released. The song's been done for that long that I've sort of gotten bored of the song. I've actually gotten really unexcited about it, but then again, I've heard it that many times. Back in the day, I loved it, so I'm pretty sure you guys will love it on your first reaction as well. As for the Bendy Chapter 3 song, yes, in the DAGames medley, near the very end, the second to last thing that we have in there is a small preview of the Bendy Chapter 3 song. And no, it's not called Sent From Above. Please just debunk that from all of your thoughts. And please just take away that Twitter preview that went out online. That is nothing anymore. There is nothing you can think about with that. The Sent From Above thing was a fan-made title and everybody just ran with it. I in no way, shape, or form made that title. As for the Chapter 3 song itself, it's very factory-based. It's not going to sound anything like it did in the medley. The medley, in fact, a lot of the songs in the DAGames medley didn't fit the same tempo and didn't fit the same pitch. What we did was we articulated those to fit the pitch of Hello Neighbor in a new sort of pitch and fit it to C minor. Is it C sharp minor or C minor? I can't remember. Which either one. We used that same scale and we just modified the songs. The song for Bendy Chapter 3 is going to be slower, it's going to be darker, and it's going to have a much more factory feel. And that's going to be the song that we work on after the Cuphead lyric video. That's the lyric video we're going to be focusing on. Before that, you're probably going to hear the Wolfenstein 2 song, Colossal Carnage. So that's one that we need to finish up. I'm just trying to find the resources we need to get it finished. But just to confirm, yes, we are making a Bendy Chapter 3 song, and we're also still going on with the Cuphead song. But hopefully this should rectify it enough. We have no release dates. We've got no plans of giving a release date. We just want to take as much time as we can as possible. Then we want to move on to the secret project that we've been working on. Well, I've been working on in the background. I've been writing a FNAF 6 song. We want to resonate back with It's Time to Die by calling it something, I don't know, something like It's Time to Be Free or something like that. We want to kind of like send it back. And there's going to be a lot of special guests involved in this song as well. So like people who are very, very stuck into the Sister Location community or FNAF, so just FNAF in general, you're going to be very familiar with these people. Like, very, very familiar. Like it's as if you played the game. But that's pretty much all we know for now. I'm writing that as soon as I know a bit more about it. As for the Let's Plays, we are going to continue those, but only when we finish those 2 original songs, Castle That Never Dies, and You're Just Making Us Stronger. As soon as we've got all of those done, the branding will go back on the channel. DAGames will go back up. You'll start seeing the banner, start seeing the logo. Once you start seeing those, is a point where you'll start seeing our Let's Plays come back. And we're going to continue off with Simulacra. We're going to like try and finish that game as much as we can. There's a FNAF fan game that we want to play, Fredbear and Friends, I believe it is. You guys want me to continue streaming Doki Doki, so I'll try to do that as well. And then I'll be trying to stream back on Twitch, you know, whenever I can. But until then, yeah, just got to do those 2 songs. Still working on the Cuphead lyric video. Hoping to do the Bendy one and the FNAF one somewhere later down the line. And it's just going to be a whole bunch of crazy things. For final thing, we are going to be actually posting more animations on the channel. As soon as we finish the Cuphead lyric video, we'll have more room to bring some of those animators on to do parody projects, like actual cartoons. Because believe it or not, DAGames used to come from the name Diamond Armada, which was my old Newgrounds username. So even before Let's Plays music, I was doing animations way before any of those things. And as for the 1 million subscriber count, what we wanted to do in celebration of that milestone is bring that context back. That form of medium is still very special to us, and it's partly where most of the main feel comes from in DAGames. So we figured, might as well bring animation back. And it's not going to be like a major regular thing, but, you know, if we can cotton on to a topic and, you know, we can put our input in, etc., I think it'd be fun. So I hope you guys are ready for that as well. That's about it, really. I'm just happy to be able to put everything out in one video, give you guys the entire context of everything that's been happening between the 6 or 7 months, because we weren't productive throughout those 6 or 7 months. We had like maybe a few songs. Let's Plays were on the side, and they didn't really like go as avidly as you thought it was compared to the beginning of 2017. A lot of people were wondering where the stuff was. Part of it was just because we were getting our dexterity back in our projects. A lot of it is because we're working on other projects on the side. But the 6 to 7 months of stress that we've all had on DAGames has also been a major reason why we've been falling short. But 2017 was an old year. It's an old meme. 2018 is a big year now, where we take all of those problems, we cut off the loose ends, and we just focus on getting better. We're just stronger from it. If you're feeling like you've ever been in this rut before, then I do hold sympathy for you as well. You guys have my full support. I've never judged anybody in my life, except for maybe when it comes to like a media sort of related thing. To be fair, there's a few musicians out there, and there's a few Let's Players, and there's a few, all these people that, you know, they've got one objective, which is cash, which sometimes can reflect on their quality. So it's a point, but, you know, they do what they want in their life. It's just like any of you guys and any of my friends who have ever gone through any problems, they've got their own context. So who am I to judge them? If they've been nice to me throughout all these years, I have no reason to believe that I should change my motives because of that. So if any of you feel from this, if you guys have been in similar situations, I hope that we can relate on this level. I hope that we can push forward through this. This is like the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. And every mistake that I've ever done has always been rectified. There's always been a new subject to change. And I'm just learning from this every single day. It doesn't make me feel any good about it. I still feel terrible. Everyone just feels terrible. So we all just need to heal. But hopefully you understand that, and through these coming projects that they'll rectify something on your end as well. Anyway, let's look forward to 2018. Again, going to be away from the channel for a bit until I focus on the songs. feel as though it's a right time for me to speak about it, because now I'm in a much better state of mind. That you guys needed to hear this. But anyway, I'm going to get going and focus on these projects. Until then, guys, I've been Will of DAGames. Thanks for listening to this video. Let's kick off 2018 right this time. Peace out! Bye.